Chair, India aligns itself with the statement delivered by Iraq on behalf of G77 and China. We thank you for convening this timely debate, whose theme underscores the urgency of our collective task. Geopolitical conflicts, climate change, debt distress, and widening inequalities have eroded hard-won development gains. And so at this juncture, the value of multilateralism shines through. India believes that only through solidarity and cooperation can we make decisive progress in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Chair, India presented its third voluntary national review in 2025, which highlighted significant strides in implementing the SDGs at scale and with inclusivity. Between 2010 and 2021, India lifted more than 415 million people out of multidimensional poverty, and this figure continues to improve. Our efforts in women's empowerment have seen a 46% female participation in local governance, while female labor force participation has risen to nearly 37% in 2023, reflecting a steady increase in women's role in the economy. In health, the Ayushman Bharat initiative has provided health coverage to over 500 million people, while the National Nutrition Mission has targeted improvements in maternal and child nutrition. In education, India has achieved near universal enrollment at the primary level and steadily rising participation in secondary and tertiary education. These milestones underscore our commitment to leaving no one behind. These achievements have been enabled by innovation and scale. Through direct benefit transfers and digital public infrastructure, India has ensured last-mile delivery of services. In renewable energy, India has become one of the world's largest producers of solar and wind power. And through the International Solar Alliance, we continue to work with partners in the Global South to accelerate the clean energy transition. Chair, India's development journey is deeply rooted in partnerships with the Global South. The India-UN Development Partnership Fund, established in 2017, today supports 90 projects across 63 developing countries, with a particular focus on least developed countries, landlocked developed countries, developing countries, and small island developing states. These projects range from climate resilience in the Pacific to renewable energy in Africa and women's empowerment initiatives in the Caribbean. Similarly, our Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation Program, launched all the way back in 1964, has trained over 200,000 professionals from 160 partner countries in areas ranging from information technology to agriculture, public administration, and renewable energy. Each year, thousands of government officials, entrepreneurs, and young leaders benefit from these opportunities. These efforts illustrate India's conviction that the challenges of development are best addressed by sharing solutions and building solidarity among peers. Chair, financing remains the linchpin of sustainable development. Without predictable, adequate, and equitable financing, the 2030 agenda will remain unfulfilled. In this regard, we welcome the Sevilla commitment adopted at the 4th International Conference on Financing for Development in Spain earlier this year. By recommitting to the principles of Monterrey, Doha, Addis Ababa, and now Sevilla, member states have underlined the centrality of financing for development to the realization of the Sustainable Development Goals. India strongly supports a call in the Sevilla commitment for scaling up concessional finance, strengthening multilateral development banks, and ensuring that climate and development finance are pursued in tandem with additionality and fairness. India also encourages member states to constructively engage in the negotiations towards establishing a UN Framework Convention on International Tax Cooperation so that it would enable developing countries to have a fair say in shaping international tax rules, combat illicit financial flows, and mobilize domestic resources for sustainable development. Chair, my delegation also calls for a significant scaling up of climate finance. While the outcome of COP29 was disappointing to say the least, in not fully addressing the needs of the Global South, developed countries must demonstrate greater ambition on climate finance commitments, in addition to their ODO obligations. Trust and credibility in the multilateral climate regime depend on ensuring that climate action is matched with adequate resources. Chair, as we look to the future, India remains guided by its civilizational ethos of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, or the whole world is one family. In this spirit, we'll continue to advance multilateral solutions, share our development experiences with partners in the Global South, and work with all member states to deliver on the promise of the 2030 agenda. The remaining 5 years demand urgency, ambition, solidarity, and resource provision. India stands ready to contribute constructively to these efforts. I thank you, Chair.